Hello and welcome to Penang International Travel Exchange PITE2020 Virtual Forums. And here we're with our first session of PITE2020 Forums organized by Teen Media. My name is Presanth Chandra. You can call me PC and I'm the moderator for this session. A very good evening to everyone who are watching us from the PITE Virtual Hall 1 as well as from the live streams. Let me thank every one of you for taking time and joining us here. As all of us know that tourism industry is going through a challenging phase, and I think an event like PITE is very timely and holds a very important role in getting the industry connected to the fellow partners and share knowledge and ideas on the future collaborations as well as the business directions. So the right channel of communication is the key at this point of time. So my heartiest congratulations to the organizers of PITE for having these wonderful thoughts of connecting all the stakeholders under one roof and giving them this opportunity to communicate to each other. So that's a very commendable effort. So congratulations PCEB and team ACE and other organizing parties involved. So all we know that most of the countries are now fully or partially locked down, and international borders are yet to open. But I was really surprised today to see a couple of buyers whom I met today were so positive and full of enthusiasm of promoting a destination like Penang, Malaysia. They were it sounds like a very positive vibe. The tourism community here, we can really look forward as there's already a demand in the international market. So definitely everyone is waiting for the borders to open. So today, we will be talking about business events roadmap, Malaysia's next normal. Before that, let me introduce you to the panel of industry leaders we have here with us. So we have the first speaker we have is Mr. Ashwin Gunasekaran, Chief Executive Officer, Penang Convention and Exhibition Bureau, PCEB.
Hello.
Hi Ashwin. Hi. The second speaker we have is Ms. Amelia Roziman, Chief Executive Officer, Business Events Sarawak, BESarawak. Hi Amelia. Welcome to the show.
Hi.
Hi. So let me give you a bit introduction about our speakers, and then we will continue towards our forum. So Ashwin is actually a born and bred Penangite. Ashwin worked for Penang Tourism Action Council upon obtaining his master's degree in international tourism from IMI University, Switzerland. An industry veteran for over 15 years, he brings to PCEB his acquired experience in tourism and hospitality management, revenue analysis, yield management, turnaround strategy, business development, and business tourism. He is the current chair of the International Congress and Convention Association, ICA, Asia Pacific Chapter Committee, and the ICA Malaysia Committee. And the second speaker we have, Miss Amelia. She is one of the outstanding pioneers of business events Sarawak, BESarawak, Malaysia's first convention bureau. She has over 13 years of experience in branding, marketing, and PR, and has contributed towards a total win of 15 awards for Sarawak in creative marketing campaigns. Her efforts on legacy impact have been recognized as the first of its kind within Asia Pacific region, taking its cue from various Western case studies that seek to measure instinct value impacts beyond tourism. Sarawak has since been touted as most progressive of 3 destinations currently spearheading the legacy impact movement worldwide. Wow, so we have an amazing panel of speakers with us today. Special thanks to both of you for taking time out to join with us here today. So I can see we have more people joining in to the online stream. A very warm welcome to every one of you. So let us start the discussion. So I'll start with Ashwin. Ashwin, tell us about PITE2020 and Penang's aspirations on its business events industry future.
Right. Thank you, Prashant. Hello, everyone, and welcome once again. So as we speak of PITE, this is the third year or the third edition that this year around that we are organizing. Unfortunately, or rather fortunately, we have gone virtual. I'll tell you why. So initially, the idea came about through it was a discussion with the industry partners, and it was very important where we thought Penang as a state should collaborate and have this effort of bringing industry partners together. And basically, the idea was connecting partners outside of Penang. So when I say outside of Penang, we're looking at regional, international. And we started off the first initiative. We had about 100 buyers or so into Penang, and it was a very good turnout. And we particularly started with one key market, which was India. And the reason was being that was one of the first collaborations that we had with India, and we thought, okay, we will um, kickstart and inaugurate PITE with the Indian market, and it turned out to be a very, very successful show in Penang. And the following year saw approximately about 130 hosted buyers, and this time around it was from various regions, including Europe, UK, Southeast Asia. Now, this year, of course, PITE was supposed to be much more bigger in that sense, and of course, due to this particular pandemic, then it has forced us to move virtual. Now, the advantage that we have this year would be the scope and the choices of buyers that we have, which means through this particular virtual platform, we are able to gauge with more than 300 over buyers worldwide. And we're looking at buyers from various different continents, and this again had made us to segregate the meetings based on PSA. So day one is going to be Southeast Asia, day two tomorrow is going to be Europe, and day three is going to be US. Now, if we are going to convert this into a physical show, it is doable, but definitely cost-wise, it's going to be much more higher. So that's one key advantage that we have here. And again, during this tiring times, it is good to know that such event can still establish the network, the connection, which is very important. And hopefully when the time is right, and this actually turns into revenue actualization through business transaction.
Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Ashwin, for that sharing. All right, so can I ask, can I go to Amelia? Can I ask Amelia, what is Sarawak's aspiration on its business events industry's future?
Thanks, Presanth, and uha again, everyone. And thank you so much for having me here. When we talk about aspiration, for Sarawak, what we want to do is we want to turn business event into a vehicle for developing our communities. We want conventions that are held in Sarawak to leave a legacy behind that we have identified as legacies for the sector, economy, governance, and community. So to strengthen our relationship, we strengthen it very. We need to strengthen, our relationship with our governments, ministry, and agencies. So, over the last year, our industry has witnessed more collaboration with government bodies, which is a positive sign. And this year is our 14 years of blood, sweat, and tears. And finally, we made it into Sarawak government's spotlight in a different way, as we recognize as one of the key contributors to the state. And our aspiration also, we also want to grow the business events talent pool, and this is through educating our existing industry partners and seeking for new partners. Our industry development department is also responsible for for preparing the future generation of business event, and that's mean getting involved with university, academia, students to teach them from the ground up on the industry and their future security in this industry. And one of our biggest aspiration of all is to form a specialized research team to collect and analyze the data on the business event industry. Contrary to many belief, data is still vital in our industry in order for us to develop a better understanding of business events and craft strategy based on the data. So when we talk about data, it's not about the business leads data that we have it already. We're talking about the data of business event sector in Sarawak. So this data will help us, to present a number to an investor, also to know in a bigger picture how many actually business event that has been held in Sarawak. Because currently, and I think it's also, like with other destination also, they talk about the one that are registered under the Bureau support or the one that hosted by the venue. So we're talking about a data that bigger than that. So that will justify about the business event sector, not just the number that we are supporting as a bureau. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Amelia, for the sharing. Indeed, as rightly you mentioned, data is the king in today's age. All right. So those who have just joined the live stream from social media channels, please type down which city you are from, so that we know that where you are based at. All right. So let me ask Ashwin. Ashwin, can you tell us a bit about PCEB's direction for 2021? I think you are muted, Ashwin.
Sorry about that. So to be very honest, when we initially got into the first phase of this pandemic, and we initiated a 3-year marketing plan, so sales and marketing plan, so which stretches from year 2021 to 2023. Now, having said that, again, this falls onto a timeline which is very much dependent on the situation of the pandemic itself. And looking at the present scenario, even worldwide for that matter, we believe that even the business events industry globally would probably kickstart, I would say, safely Q2 or even Q3 next year. So again, I'm looking at the silver lining, which is the vaccine. So if that is made available, then it is the entire chain that we are relating, from the airlines industry, the skies reopening, and building confidence to get back your partners in. So in the meantime, yes, the marketing plan for 2021 and beyond focuses very much on the domestic segment, and I think it is only right that we follow through a ripple effect model and slowly move on regional and eventually global. Now, if you were to ask me how soon we could get global or even regional, it would rather be a very difficult question to answer at this current moment. But I think, as many have said, this year is purely survival, and I think we in the business events industry are very creative people. Just to share, we have been visiting some partners, and some of these partners have gone into hibernating mode. Regardless hibernating, they have diversified into different business models. So in a way, looking on the positive side, this particular pandemic has definitely opened up new channels, and everyone's creative sides on moving forward. So similarly, we have implemented such plans for the partners, and constantly engaging the partners to be actively involved and to move this 2021 and beyond plan together with the Bureau.
Thank you so much, Ashwin. As you rightly said, I think domestic tourism is everyone's concentration at this point of time. Those who have just joined the stream, thank you so much for joining, you guys. I think we have a very quite a mix of audience here from different parts of Asia. Thank you so much for responding with your places where you're from. All right. So Amelia, can you share a bit about your plans for 2021?
Well, for 2021, of course, we are still doing our mitigation and also the recovery, from the pandemic to our sector in Sarawak. But besides, managing, the recovery plan, we are also, the aspiration. We are also under one of the most important aspiration under the Sarawak Economic Action Council. What they want to do is that we want to develop and we want to expand Sarawak business event sector beyond tourism impact, whereby its contribution also include economic transformation and social development in securing Sarawak foothold as a role model, one of the role model for second and third destination in ASEAN region. So the outcomes outlined by the Sarawak Economic Action Council by the Sarawak government are economic prosperity, social inclusivity, and environmental sustainability, just to name a few. So, everything we do, our direction will be everything we do is about people as well. So that means that what we want convention held in Sarawak is to leave a legacy under our legacy impact program. So it is our mission to develop Sarawak sector, economy, governance, and communities through the business events partner. So I'm sure that, this is the second time I answered your question, and you probably hear about a lot of collaboration with the government and also about the legacy impact program. So what we want to do is that we want to find partners who are in the same page with us, that, and what we want them to know that, whenever they bring a business to Sarawak, business event, regardless is it exhibition, regardless is it conventions or meetings and so on, we, of course, the number of the delegates is good. It's good for the tourism. But for a business event, what we're looking at is that the topic of that convention, of that piece of business. For example, we have worked closely with one of the university in India on the bees and pollen. So bees and pollen is one of the new commodity that the Sarawak governments are looking at under the agriculture. So we want this topic. So when you're coming here, it's not just about how many delegates you can bring in, but, what can we learn from each other? It will be a business exchange during that time, or, this is where we can share our research finding. So we're looking more into that. So basically, so this is where, legacy impact program coming in, because legacy impact will not ask about how many delegates can you secure. We are talking about what are the topics and how can we help each other, in that sector. Yeah. So anyway, that's, one of our aspiration under the Sarawak Economic Action Council, which is the legacy impact program. And the second thing that, now that we know that the business is a bit slowed down, so we have more time to do more development. So the other segment under business event that we're looking into is the corporate meeting and corporate incentives. So we are working closely together with our industry, to develop these two segments, because, currently conventions is our strength. 80% of our big wins are from the convention business, and only 15% from corporate meeting, corporate incentive. So I think this is the best time to do it. And we have all the support from the industry and the government, to develop this more further. And of course, we have business event planners incentivized packages. So it will last in 2021 to 2022. So the three packages is Trap Acceleration, Trap Elevation is more for bidding and supporting the business. But I think tribe generation is the one that, something that I would like to talk about a bit more over here. We want to encourage homegrown events from our industry. It doesn't matter. It can be, it can be done in Sarawak, or it can be done, in India probably. So this is where the partnership coming in. So let's say I'm gonna go with the bees and the, and the pollen again. So if, like the first year the conference can be, or the event can be in Kuching in Sarawak, the next year when the sky is all open, it will be in any part of, city in India. So we're looking at that kind of collaboration now. So, we don't limit ourselves. Of course, virtual and hybrid is good. But, meeting industry is about face-to-face. It's about us meeting each other. So I think it's vital, for business events, industry to keep this going and look forward, you know, for meeting each other, rather than we meet in, in a virtual virtual environment like this. All right, Prasad, that's all from me.
Right. Yeah. Rightly said. Thank you so much for that sharing, Amelia. Because all these trade partners who are listening to this, definitely they will has a lot of takeaways from this. And all those who are watching online, please type down your questions. If you have any questions for our panelists, please type it down on the comment section. We will take it up if you have enough time. We will take it up. Otherwise, we will also reply you back from our social media channels later after the show. All right. So, Ashwin, I would like to ask you, like this is a very common question, people always ask us that, what do you think we should do right to catch up with the competitors, when the borders open? Because I think market was always been competitive. And I think it's sizing down somehow with this pandemic. And, people might fear that the competition may be more stiffer now. So how do you see this, Ashwin?
Well, speaking of competition, personally, I don't think competition would be the right word now or even in the near future. I think we are looking at more on complementing and what Amelia has rightfully said, collaboration. Because at this point of time, the key word which we keep on emphasizing is building that destination confidence, because the first question you would probably have, even before you express an interest on a bid, is probably how safe is your destination, and how sure are you that my delegates can be safe in your destination, and what are all the precautions that has been taken into measure. So this would be your new normal, probably bid questions that's coming through, and you have to address it that way. And having said that, we have postponed approximately about 45 conferences to the future years to come. And the thing is, of course, with the future host countries, there has been some countries whom were willing to give way for us to move on with the conference. And there were countries who, of course, naturally wanted the economic impact much more faster post this pandemic. And that made us go back on the calendar queue again. So as we approach closer to this year, and now there are some postponements that are taking place for Q1 next year to future years. And what we have seen is the people's way of communicating and giving in is rather changing. So they are okay with us being in the actual queue rather than postponing and getting back into the next queue. And there has also been talks on how we could collaborate, or how we could join bids together, or how we could actually share expertise. And like what Amelia has said on the bees and pollens, Penang is of course very strong in terms of medical sciences and pharma for that matter. And there has been a lot of talks in how regionally this collaboration for ideas can actually grow the economy of that destination, which means that this idea would then help elevate the Congress and its topic further. So at the end of the day, you're trying to achieve a policy and you're trying to establish a legacy in a particular destination. Vice versa, the particular Congress or the conference will also establish its legacy. So at this point of time, I'm not going to go with the word competition, and I personally don't see the word competition coming in the next 2 years or so.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ashwin, for that sharing. As you rightly said, absolutely, I think the time to collaborate than compete each other. Absolutely right. Okay, Amelia, can I just ask you, if how different is Sarawak doing to cope up with the current challenges you're facing?
Well, I don't think it's much different from what Ashwin is saying. Although every bureau and every destination, we do have our own thing. What we need to do, because like as we know, every destination is very unique situation that we need to manage it differently. But when it comes to talk about like what Ashwin was saying just now, collaboration, even like every state in Malaysia, we need to collaborate, because collaborate for Malaysia, because every policy when it comes to country, it comes from the federal. As a state, we still have to follow our federal. So if we don't have one voice for business event, our sector will not be strong. So by far now, we are quite blessed, Ashwin. Like I hope Ashwin agree with me that in Malaysia, our industry is still very strong, and each of the states is doing their best to maintain our clientele, maintain our business. At the same time, we still be able to collaborate as one Malaysia. So that is something that very important. But when it comes to Sarawak, after we launch our incentivized packages, business event incentivized packages, 6 months after that, we see a 95% of the success rate. When it comes to postponement, we only have 3 cancellation. So about 65 events we managed to save for postponement, and also at the same time we have a quite. I think it's okay. We have not, like reached our KPI. We have about more than 30 big wins, which can be translated to a total economic of about 100 million during the MCO time. And now we are still bidding for business. So in a way that, what I'm trying to say is, I have to thank my government, for giving us these incentivized packages, and it helps us to win more business, and we can't win this business without our client. They love the packages, and the incentivized that we're given really helps them. And I think that has shown in the result that we achieve today.
All right, thank you so much, Amelia, for that sharing. All right, so Ashwin, nowadays everyone is talking about domestic tourism, and everyone is stressing more on domestic tourism movements. So, do you see domestic MICE is filling the gap in the event market?
Well, for Penang, national MICE business has always been there, and largely on the incentive segment. And now, during this current situation, we have actually seen a larger sector of the domestic market obviously increasing for us, and it has gone. You can't do incentives anymore. So there has been a large increase on corporate meetings, and again, what's quite interesting is that the sectors that I mentioned earlier, the medical sciences as well as the pharmaceutical, are continuing to have their meetings. I believe there are AGMs that still needs to go on. There are board meetings that still needs to be done. the financial institutions are still continuing with their meetings, and we have seen this numbers growing, and I believe it will only grow greater, and it is a time that only domestic business events or MICE would be able to support growth our sector of business, and it is very crucial. I believe this model will continue, and this model will get larger, because we did start with virtual meetings, and I don't think virtual meetings actually lasted even longer than 3 months, and we were already talking about hybrid, and hybrid we have already had several hybrid meetings that's ongoing. So it is just a matter of time, once there's a cure, and once the pandemic is um, sizing down. I do not see um, an almost immediate growth of physical business events happening, but definitely it will kickstart and begin with the domestic market first.
All right. Thank you so much, Ashwin, for that sharing. Can I know from Amelia about the domestic movement you have in Sarawak?
Presanth, please repeat the question.
If you could tell us a bit about the domestic business events market in Sarawak. Do you have it there? Yeah. How big is that?
Yeah, actually, it's, because we are in Malaysia, Penang and Sarawak. So basically, it's still affected with, the situation of COVID now. But I think, I believe that in the future, of course, when the skies is open again, I mean, right now, we can't even travel outside Sarawak. So we are all being restricted. So, domestic event might be filling up the gap, but I don't think it's necessary. I think, this is where the technology will come in, because we can see some of the international congress that were hosted has changed the way of how they organize a congress itself. They can have its own regional hub in different region, but the international congress itself, it can be in other destination. So in a way that it is an international congress, but the delegates that who are traveling, it will be a domestic. So we need to see beyond traditional way of organizing a conference. But if we're still thinking in a way that it's all physical, yeah, you will look into domestic. But if you can marry it with technology, then I don't think it should be any challenges, like to have international and national, except that the type of visitors that are coming in, it may be domestic. Plus, at the same time, during this, this is where, like I want to emphasize the homegrown business events. This is the right time to do it, and we still can win a business, although the business might not be able to be held during this time. But in business event, our business is not 1 or 2 years. It can be 4 years later, 6 years later down the road. So you still can bid for the business. And, in the meantime, of course, we have to pray for the downsizing of the pandemic issue that we have right now. It's around the world. Yep, that's all.
Rightly said, Amelia. I think everyone is praying for it. And I think, as rightly you mentioned, this is an amazing opportunity for all of us to develop domestic based business events. That's very rightly mentioned. So Ashwin, if I may ask you, how meetings in Penang going to be different, for those business events industry community watching you right now? If you can, give us your thoughts.
Right. So I believe every state, including Malaysia's National Bureau. Everyone has got various support programs in place for partners or for businesses that would come into your respective destinations. Now, as for Penang, we have got a new model of programming, which is called Enhanced Privilege Penang. So through Enhanced Privilege Penang, again, we have opened this window in supporting meetings as low as 20 person onwards. So this is a support, and again, it goes from the type of meetings, sectors, and the variations are there. There are many creative ideas that have been embedded into this programming as well, and this programming goes all the way in line with the rejuvenation plan up to year 2023. So it is not only limited to the as in the corporate meetings segment, but eventually over the next 2 years, if even the incentive segment starts opening up, and the support structure will be then provided for this particular segment as well. So that is something new for Penang. We have gone on various level of customization, and we do have Penang partners whom have extensively invested in technology, and this is something that I would like to applaud. And during even these hard times, like I said, we are all from the creative industry, and we all have creative minds. So they have diversified and making sure that this particular sector is not just lying low, and we are only coming back stronger with more opportunities. So from the suppliers side as well, there's so much options that are available as well. There are lots more. If you look through our website, the partners program as well as the support structure is available for download as well. And any further customizations, you can directly speak to us for those viewers out there, and we will be able to assist you at this point of time. And this again, it's not only for physical. However, if you're looking at even a hybrid or a virtual model at this point of time, we are glad to assist. Back to you.
Thank you so much,
Presanth.
Ashwin. Thank you so much for that sharing. I think is definitely those who are watching from the industry definitely would they can always contact PCEB even on the PITE. PCEB has a booth, and you can even speak to them and face to face and have a conversation. So if I may ask Amelia, how meetings in Sarawak is going to be different for those industry community who are watching you right now.
Well, I'm in team Ashwin now because, we are both business events. So like what he said, we're going to be creative no matter what. We'll find our way to make it, exciting at the same time. So, and you will expect the same thing also in Sarawak. You'll find the meetings will be different. And also we will match it with the technology that we have, because right now in Sarawak government, digital economy is one of the aspiration that they would like to develop. So this is something that you can look forward for. But there's one thing that this is something that we have been stressing since many years, is that when it comes to your business and your investment in bringing your business to Sarawak, we want to stress that nothing more important than the legacy impact program, because this program, like I said earlier, is not looking about just how many number that you're gonna bring in, but we really look into the topic that you're gonna bring, the topic of your business that you're gonna bring to Sarawak, because our Sarawak government very interested to find out more about the topic and how we can develop it together in the best interest of economic, community and also environment. Yeah, so that is something different that you will get from us, because we know that when you bring a convention here, when you bring a business down here, it's not easy to come up with that kind of research, that kind of finding it takes years and years, for them to come up with those ideas. And then here we are, when they bring it to the destination, people just look at the number. So we don't do that. And I hope that this is something that people out there, especially, like when it comes to exhibition and convention, this is, like, try us out, give us, check our website and see how, if we are a match, to your business objective.
All right. Thank you so much, Amelia. I think personally, I find, this pandemic has made the industry more creative. I could see even from travel agents into, MICE operators, they have been pretty much going into a different mode of, developing various products which fits into the current requirement. So I'm sure that towards the end of this pandemic, a lot of amazing products will be out in the market. Right. So if I may ask, Ashwin, this is a very common question on Teen Media we keep on receiving from our viewers, that do you see the industry coming back to normal anytime soon?
As I've mentioned earlier, yes, the industry, I'm confident that the industry will come back to normal. It's just a matter of time. And the earliest that I see is really Q3 next year. And it's very difficult at this point of time to accurately say to what extent that the industry will be back to normal, but it's a definite yes. This industry will come back. We are all social butterflies, isn't it? And it is a people-to-people business, and you can't just put us on a virtual window for how long? Yeah, I mean, even now, when you have restrictions being lifted for time being, and the first thing you see, meetings already taking place, and yeah, as easy as what if you have that vaccine and things gets even better. So I see it moving almost immediately, but what I can't tell you is to what great extent it will move.
Thank you so much for that, Ashwin. Because I think people in the industry needs a lot of confidence, and this positivity from people like you will definitely help to hang on. All right. So if as Amelia has mentioned about the activities and her vision towards BESarawak. So I just want to ask you, if you could share the biggest challenges you're facing in the industry right now.
All right. The biggest challenges. Sounds like very hard to answer. Pandemic is my biggest challenge. I think, the challenges that we still have is that it's not really big actually, because, they used to be, we still have our own challenges, but it has been addressed in the Sarawak Economic Action Council. So in a 10 years time, we are looking at, a more improved destination, and hopefully we probably come up with the different challenges. But, when you talk about the readiness of the sector in the when we'll be ready, I would agree with what Ashwin said. Hopefully, by Q3 of next year, maybe we will start picking up the business. But I think, will we be able to be the same? I don't think we're going to be the same. I think we're going to be better. I think we're going to be stronger. So after this, anything that comes, after COVID, Corona pandemic, we can face it much better. And I think the pandemic situation has accelerated a lot of things. And it's also, forced us to improve and then doing a business in a different way, because like, we are human, that's the normal way of we doing it. That's how we want to do it. But I think COVID has changed that. COVID has made us better and give us, more opportunity to improve. Yeah, that's all for me.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much for that sharing and positivity. I would like to read out a comment from one of our viewers here. Sadi Yo says that let us keep the lights bright. We will continue collectively to build back our business together with you. We all are tough cookies. The hardest, the situation, the better we become. That's amazing, Sadi. I think you have an amazing vibe giving out to all of us. We really love that. All right, so I would like to ask Ashwin on, what is your message? Or let's talk about digitalization. How digital is Penang business event industry, or let's say from Malaysia's perspective, and what is your digital goals or your vision for the industry?
All right. So Penang under the state's 2030 strategic plan, digitalization has been one of the key sectors which is being developed for the state, and the Convention Bureau has always been in line with this particular goal of digitalization. So it has never been something new for us. Everything that we have done so far has been related to technology and how this can be implied and practiced in the future. So everything is, if future tense is the right word to use as far as digitalization or technology is concerned. So that's where we are. And I can only say that in this current situation, it has accelerated our digital goals greater. Now, I'm saying that simply because that under the 3 years rejuvenation plan, the three key sectors that we are focusing on is the support program first. Second would be collaboration, starting from domestic, and as what I mentioned earlier, the ripple effect model, and last but not least is digitalization. So there has been a great interest and investment on this sector, and we will continue to develop this, both the Convention Bureau as well as the state government of Penang.
Thank you so much, Ashwin, and let me congratulate you for organizing the first business events virtual event as PITE. I think it's amazing, and we are really having a good time in the event with a lot of visitors coming into our booth as well. So, Amelia, can I know from you, digitally, how digital is the business event industry in Sarawak, and what is your vision digitally for Sarawak?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, is that, digital economy is one of the main focus of the Sarawak government that they would like to develop, and one of their aspiration that the digital economy will encompass, all of the sector of the economic, the key development that they want to do. But for business events, we do embrace technology, but at the same time, we would like to maintain the fact that meeting face to face is still it cannot beat by the technology. Technology will enhance the experience of meetings, but it shouldn't be replace the actual meeting, for human and human contact. So that's from me.
All right, thank you, Amelia. I would like to take a question from one of our viewers here, Sef Haini from Sarawak. She's asking, what is your opinion on a niche branding marketing strategy for each state in order to sell themselves uniquely to the delegates and conventions? If you could just share some lights. Can you see the question?
Ashwin, would you like to take it first, since this is from Sarawak?
Probably, yeah. Just touch through. Yeah.
Thank you. Well, niche branding or marketing I would say it's nothing new in our sector, the business event sector. Now, and as I said, every destination is very unique. And when we bid for a particular congress, again, as what Amelia has mentioned earlier, we do not just bid for any congresses that we want. At the end of the day, it is we look at it three ways. It's what the destination can benefit from a congress, and what the congress can benefit from a destination, or how both parties could benefit each other. And at the end of the day, more than legacy is that little feather on your head that you're going to have by bringing this congress in. Now, in order to achieve that, of course, the niche is very important. And when we say the niche is very important in our sector, then we have to speak of the availability of the content. And the availability of the content would then relate back to the associations and the partners that we have. Now, this is very scientific itself when you are speaking of that particular topic of the congress or conference that you're going to bid for. But other than that, the uniqueness itself lies on the destination, and what the destination could provide for your delegates. At the end of the day, I mean, we've given various examples during our bid. I'm not going to give such examples here. But what's important is at the end of the day, you as a conference or conference owner or a organizer would want to have that wow factor, not because of the destination or not, yes, partly because of the destination, but the wow factor is really from your delegates. At the end of the day, did your delegate have a good time, and why the delegate had that good time? And just to give you an example, some of the conferences we have even thrown in questionnaires and survey, and it's strange enough. Out of top 5 questions, I can tell you the first 2 question would really be what kind of meals are being served during the congress, where is the party area after the congress. So this again relate back to how unique you have marketed the programming. So I mean, it's difficult for us to imagine when we are pushing our product. Now put yourself in a shoe of the delegate, and um, regardless, any conference that you want to attend, pick a destination. Where do you want to go? And when that particular destination comes into your mind, ask the question, why did I want to go to that particular destination? It could be the heritage, it could be the building, I don't know, Paris, City of Love, maybe. So all of this could come into mind, and these are all niche branding or marketing on how you sell. Now, I think the second concurrent question is corporate incentives. And corporate incentives again goes back to delegate experience, purely delegate experience. But at Seth, at this point of time, I'm not sure how much can we do on corporate incentive, and how can we get creative with corporate incentive until the restrictions are being lifted, because there's a lot of programmings that are involved in the incentive sector itself. However, if it's corporate meeting, then yes, we can definitely throw you a lot of wow factors.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much, Ashwin. I think Seth Haney, I hope you have got the answer for those your questions. So you're moving towards the end of our session. Yeah, and any final thoughts, Amelia, before we go?
Well, I think during this difficult time, I think it's relevant to everyone, any sector, not just business events, I think is very vital for us to unite as an industry, unite, as a country, unite as a region or globally, to face, whatever we have to face, to the pandemic. And I think without a stronger collaboration and unity, not any of us can survive, not even any small sector that we are in right now, even the business event sector. So, be creative, be strong and stay united, keep the unity together. That's all.
Thank you so much, Amelia. I think those encouraging words definitely, it's much required to the industry, and we really, appreciate your efforts. Ashwin, any final thoughts from your side?
Sure. I just want to say that the mice industry is a resilient industry. We are only going to come back stronger, a much more stronger industry altogether with more creative ideas. Business is picking up slowly but surely. We will get there. So please be creative, be open. No ideas are wrong. Anything could trigger into something larger. So if you need at this current point of time, the key is to communicate. Do not give up. If you need ideas, talk to people within the industry, out of the industry. Keep yourself actively involved with everything that's happening, even though if you are in a hibernation mode at this particular point of time. Diversify and look for ideas, and we will get through this together. And I really like what Sadie said. Yes, we are all tough cookies. It's only going to make us tougher cookies after this.
All right. Thank you so much for that positivity, Ashwin, and both of you, Amelia and Ashwin. Thank you so much for joining us here. We really enjoyed your conversation. Thank you so much, and see you soon. So see you real soon, physically or virtually. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Presanth. Bye.
Thank you. Thanks.
Bye.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, due to the time limitations, we have to come. We have to end this session, and it was indeed a very informative and thoughtful session. And I'm sure it has helped us to get a better understanding on business events industry updates and its new direction in the new normal. So let me thank each one of you for taking out time and joining this live stream. We are looking forward to see you again. Thank you so much, and please enjoy the rest of events at the PITE Virtual PITE 2020. Thank you so much.